𝗪𝗡𝗀𝗀𝗲.
What is this man? What is going on?
Yeah.
Like, I don't get it.
You know, we in the Western world have a very difficult time threading the needle of Aleister Crowley, and I think that he probably wanted it that way. We all tend to be brought up with this very black or white, take it or leave it thinking. You know, you're either accepting of everything the person was about or nothing, and that's a false choice. There's no way to approach Crowley with binary thinking. He was very distasteful as a human being. He was bigoted. He was disloyal. He was cruel. He was crude. He was self-centered. He was 10 other things that were egregiously bad and wrong. He was also a brilliant artist, translator, visual artist. I think some of his works, including the Book of the Law, one of his earliest works, probably his best known, were remarkable in their poetic, literary, and visionary quality. People might disdain Crowley as a figure, just as they might disdain the composer Richard Wagner as a figure, but have to come to terms with the fact that his output has attained posterity for a reason, and that is because of its allure, its artistic appeal, its esoteric intrigue, the quality that people find in it, the articles of experimentation that people find in it. I don't fully understand, and yet at the same time, I do understand, based on what I was saying earlier, why it's so difficult for people to have a broad spectrum view of Crowley as a profoundly distasteful person, at the same time, a person who attained some degree of artistic and esoteric splendor. Those are the facts as I see it. Crowley was not a war criminal. This isn't somebody who committed some sort of mass atrocities or who behaved in some homicidal way. I really think people almost react to Crowley in the same way that they react to The Secret, which is that they're trying to say something more about themselves than they are about the man who stands before us. I think that people piss on The Secret because they want to communicate something serious about their own search. People dismiss Crowley as this figure of evil incarnate because they want to signal something about their own ethics. You signal a lot more about your ethics by being able to sort out the coarse from the fine. The coarse is Crowley as a man. There was an ugliness to the man, no question about that. And I've detailed it, written about it, in Modern Occultism. There also was, as I see it, an artistic splendor to the man. He wasn't to everybody's taste. The Beatles liked him enough to put him on the cover of Sgt. Pepper's. There's other people who find his work worthless. I find value in Crowley's work selectively. I find a lot that's distasteful about Crowley as a man personally. I don't think it should be terribly complex. That's my point of view. People can read further about him and his influence and his ugliness in Modern Occultism and other places. A lot's been written about Crowley. He's probably been more widely written about than even Madame Blavatsky herself. There's a reason for that. It's very difficult for people to come to terms with somebody who presents ugliness as a human being, but a kind of beauty as an esoteric visionary.
Mm-hmm. You said you found something useful, selective. Could you be more specific on what?
Oh, well, I think Crowley's work, the Book of the Law, is a work of real splendor. I think Crowley's philosophy of 𝗪𝗓𝗓, which some people find to be adolescent selfishness, as a philosophy of some beauty and meaning. And I think Crowley's aesthetics were very beautiful and alluring. In fact, there's a lot in our culture that wouldn't be there with the same pronunciation, with the same fineness, if it weren't for Crowley's influence. The whole world of music within black metal and death metal, certain precincts of hip hop have taken aesthetic cues from Crowley. Our world would look different if it wasn't for him. He had a genius level sense of aesthetics, which is why his name continues to be known.